Alright, what's up, guys? So I apologize that I didn't get to do a recap on the games that happened a couple days ago, or for the last two. So I'm going to try to do those now. I'm going to do them really quick just because it's 2 days worth of games that I'm doing in this video, so I'm going to try to do this as quick as possible. So the first game, so we're going to start with we're going to do January 22nd and 23rd, and I'm going to do tonight's games tomorrow. So we're gonna start off with Clippers Mavericks. The Clippers won this one by 14 points. As you guys know, the Clippers and Mavericks have had in the last 4 years now. They've had, well, 3 years, I'd say. They've had a rivalry with the Mavericks in the playoffs, especially because they faced each other back-to-back years in the playoffs. The Clippers won both years, both series. It was close though. It was both. One series is in 2020 in the bubble, and they won. The Clippers won that in 6, and then the Clippers beat them the next year in 2021 in 7 games. So yeah. So anyways, Kawhi had 30 points in this game. Paul George at 21 and Norman Powell at 19. Kawhi did very well in that game. I actually watched the recap, and Kawhi was hitting his shots. He's fine, looking like he's getting back to that Kawhi form. So good for him. I mean, he's my favorite player in the NBA, so it's good to see him get back on his feet. From the Mavericks side of things, obviously Luka was the leading scorer. He usually always is, and he had 29 and 10, and he only had 4 assists. But Tim Hardaway, though, did step up for them and have 22 points. He was hitting some pretty crazy shots. Spencer Dinwiddie had 21, but everybody else kind of stank up the joint, if I'm being honest. So, yeah. But yeah, this was a good win for the Clippers overall. The Clippers are starting to inch their way up. If they're playing the Lakers right now. If they win this game, which, I mean, judging by the score, it looks like they're going to. They are going to move up to the fifth seed in the Western Conference. So that would be huge for them, especially since the Mavericks lost yesterday, which we'll get to in a minute. But so yeah. And now let's take a look at the next game. The next game was the Pelicans-Heat game. The Heat won this game by 4 points, 100-96. On the Pelicans side of things, it's a pretty even score. No one scored over 20, but there are 6 players that scored in double figures here, which is evenly scoring. Trey Murphy III led the team in scoring with 17. Herb Jones had 11, Valanciunas had 14 and 16 rebounds. Valanciunas is another one of those very underrated centers. He's got good post work, and he gets a lot of rebounds. So he's a very good rebounder. So he's definitely a positive to any team. So, and the Pelicans are definitely utilizing him very well. C.J. McCollum only had 13 points, but that's all right. So he didn't really have too great of a game, though. Let me just check his shooting. If he must have had an off game or something. Yeah, definitely. He was 9 of 22 from the field and 0 of 8 from 3. So he definitely had an off night. But it's one game. It's not gonna it doesn't define him or anything. Dyson Daniels had 11, 7 and 6 assists. Good for him. Larry Nance Jr. had 12. Larry Nance Jr. is another one of those very underrated power forwards / centers. He can't shoot the ball really well, but he can rebound and get alley-oops and stuff like that. He's very athletic. So, and then on the Heat side of things, Jimmy Butler had 18 points. what was his shooting like? Against the Pelicans, he was 5 of 7 from the field, so he didn't really shoot that much, and he attempted 1 3 but didn't make it. But I'm assuming so 5 of 7. He doesn't shoot a lot, so since he didn't make any threes. 5 of 7, so those are all 2, so that's 10 points, and then he got the rest of his points probably from free throws. He's very good at drawing fouls. Jimmy Butler's another one of those all-star players that draws a lot of fouls, so because he goes to the basket a lot. Caleb Martin only had 4 points. Bam Adebayo had 18. Good for him. And he shot the ball decently. He shot 7. He was 7 to 12 from the field, and he doesn't shoot any threes. So, but he got a lot of those points from the line probably. Well, we got some of those points from the line, from the charity stripe. Tyler Hero, however, led the team in scoring with 26 points. And he shot. I pull it up real quick. It'll pop up. Oh, there we go. He shot 10 of 22 from the field, which, it's a little bit below 50% from the field, but not bad. And he was 4 of 10 from 3. So he had 40% from 3, which is decent. It's above league average, so good for him. Kyle Lowry had 17 points, and he shot 6 of 9 from the field, 6 from 3, so that's very efficient. 17 points from him, so good for him. Victor Oladipo had 11 points, and he shot 4 of 9 from the field and 0 of 3 from 3. So he didn't make any threes, but he was 4 of 9 from the field, which is above 50%, or almost. Or it's a little bit below 50%, so not bad. So yeah. Sorry, going to the next game, which is the Knicks Raptors game. The Knicks won this game, the Raptors won this game by 9 points, 125 to 116. R.J. Barrett actually led the team in scoring for the Knicks. He had 30, 7 rebounds and 5 assists, so good for him. And he was very efficient, actually. He was 10 of 18 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3. So that's a very good night for R.J. Barrett for sure. Combined with the 7 rebounds and 5 assists. So great game from him. Randall had 23. Julius Randle had 23 and 9. Or 23, 19, and 8. But let's check those shooting splits, though. Oh, he was 8-14 from the field. That's actually pretty good. That's almost 60%. That's about 60%, so that's pretty good. He usually doesn't shoot that efficiently. He usually just chucks up a lot of contested mid-range shots, but good game from him. And combining that with the 19 rebounds, and 8 assists, he was definitely controlling the tempo for them. And Jalen Brunson, who is probably the most important. Jalen Brunson is probably the most important player on this Knicks team because he's the glue guy. He controls the tempo. He's their main playmaker, and the Knicks haven't had a point guard like that in years. So he's a big. I know, and people were originally saying he was overpaid because the Knicks gave him like a max contract when they traded for him to get him off of the Mavericks last offseason. But he's playing. He's looking like he's worth that contract because he's really because the Knicks are in the playoffs right now. So the Knicks are the 7th seed right now. So and Jalen Brunson is the main reason why they're in the playoff picture. So good for him. Good for him. It's definitely good to see that he can shine. The thing is, he was definitely held back playing next to Luka because Luka had the ball most of the time. But now that he's one of the primary ball handlers for the Knicks, he's showing what he can do. So, and he was kind of inefficient. He was 6 of 15, so it's definitely below 50%. But it's like about like in the low 40s. But he was 4 of 7 from 3, so he was over 50% from 3, which is good. And he had 5 assists. So, and Obi Toppin chipped in with 14 points. Obi Toppin is just another role player for the Knicks, but he's super athletic. So against the Raptors, he had 5 of 7 from the field and 4 of 5 from 3. So most of those points came from the 3-point line. So he was knocking down them threes. Good for him. On the Raptors side of things, Scotty Barnes had 19, 7, and 6. So he was definitely doing his thing. He was 7 of 15 from the field, so that's about a little less than 50%, but not bad. And he was 1 of 4 from 3, so he didn't really shoot the 3 that well, but he only attempted 4 of them. But Scotty Barnes is not really a 3-point shooter, so it's not too bad. But he did have two blocks and 1 steal, so he was definitely doing some stuff defensively, which is good for them. Pascal Siakam had 24, 7 and 6. This Raptors team is definitely going to get a lot of rebounds because they have a lot of power forwards and centers and just lengthy forwards. So they tend to really get a lot of rebounds and get a lot of points in the paint. Which is why they don't shoot a lot of threes, and they have a couple players that are pretty good shooters, like Van Fleet, Gary Trent Jr., and OG Anunoby. I think I'm missing somebody as well. But even Siakam can even shoot at a decent clip. So, the stats back me up on that. Actually, he was 50% from 3 against the Knicks. So, he's not that efficient from the field though. He's only 9 of 21, but he made 50% of his threes. So he can if you leave him open, he'll definitely make a couple of those threes. So, you know what I'm saying? Especially if he's definitely feeling it that night. 12 and 11 from Precious Achiuwa. Achiuwa is another one of those underrated players. He was drafted by the Heat in the 2021 season, but traded him he was in the trade for Kyle Lowry, I believe. So, he didn't shoot any threes, but he was 2 of 4 from the field. So most of those points definitely came from the free throw line. He only got 4 of those points off of regular field goals. The other 8 points must have came from the line. 11 rebounds though, so he was definitely getting those boards and 2 steals. So pretty good game from him. Nothing amazing, but noteworthy. And Gary Trent Jr. had 24 points. Like I said, he's a great 3-point shooter, and the stats back me up on that, as he was 6 of 10 from 3, so that's 60% from 3. Very efficient game from him. 9 of 17 from the field, so that's I believe that's almost 50% from the field. So decently efficient from the field, but he was 60% from 3. That's very good. So. And Fred VanVleet led the team in scoring. He had 28. Like I said, when VanVleet's kind of struggled recently, but I think he's starting to finally get it together. And he was 8 of 19 from the field with 4 of 8 from 3, so shot 50% as well. So good for him. Chris Boucher had 14 points and 7 rebounds. So. Good game from the Raptors. Unfortunately, the Raptors haven't been doing so well. They've kind of struggled to win games recently, so maybe they'll get back on track. Who knows? Because they were in the playoffs last year, and they pushed the Sixers to 6 games. So, next game that we're going to look at, whoops, I went a little too high. Is the Thunder and the Nuggets. I actually watched a little bit of this game, and this game was super close down the stretch. They were without Nikola Jokic, but the Nuggets made it competitive. But the Thunder came out with the win. So my friend Nolan, he's a big Thunder fan, so shout out to you, Nolan. But I was watching this game. I was actually rooting for the Thunder for you because I know how big of a Thunder fan you are. So Thunder got a pretty good win with this one. Even without Nikola Jokic, the Nuggets are a very good team. They're first in the West for a reason. So, they're a very good team even without him. And Jamal Murray was was cooking it down the stretch from what I saw. So we'll check his stats in a minute. But from the Thunder side of things, obviously Shea led the team in scoring. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander with 34 points. He's definitely going to be an all-star this year, and I'm excited for it. So good for him. And we'll check his shooting splits. He shot 13 of 21 from the field and 1 of 2 from 3. So 50% from 3 and way over 50% from the field. I think that's like over 60% actually. So that's very good. Very good percentages from him. And he also chipped in with 2 blocks as well. So very good performance from him. Josh Giddey chipped in with 18. He was their first round pick. He was their lottery pick last year. I believe he was the 3rd pick. I think he was he was a he's a top 5 pick for sure. I know that. Just can't remember which one. But he was their lottery. Bottom line is he was their lottery pick last year. So he shot 9 of 17 from the field, so a little bit below 50%. Or maybe just about 50%, but he attempted a 3 but didn't make one. But he did have 9 rebounds and 3 assists and a steal and a block, so good for him. And then this Kendrick Williams dude, I believe. Is this the dude with the drop shag? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. He's the dude with the weird drop shag at the bottom of his head like that. It's a style. It's a kind of style I don't know I don't know that many people that have that hairstyle, like at least in person, but I heard that it's actually more common than you think to have that hairstyle. So he used to play for the Pelicans though. I didn't realize he was actually traded to the Thunder. But against the Nuggets, he was 4 of 7 from the field and 3 of 5 from 3. He actually hit a really big 3 down the stretch of the game to extend the Thunder lead. So good for them. Yeah, that was a big win for the Thunder, especially considering. Personally, my friend Nolan wants them to actually be losing right now because they want to be in the lottery. They want to be in the run-in for Victor, but for Wembanyama. But I don't think they should try to tank for him. They already have Chet. They already have Chet Holmgren. I think when he gets healthy, they're definitely going to make the playoffs next year. So, yeah, and they can just build on that and get better. The next game is the Grizzlies and Suns game, and the Suns won this by 2 points. Desmond Bane had 24, 8, and 6. He was 9 of 13 for the field and 3 of 4 from 3, so very efficient actually. So good for him. He's probably I think he's probably their second best player. It's close between him and Jaren Jackson, but I think Desmond Bane just is slightly better, just slightly. But Jaren Jackson Jr. is good though. Don't get me wrong, he's very good. Speaking of which, he only had 8 points in this game, so it's kind of disappointing. But let's see. Let's check his 7 of 18 from the field. That's below 50%. And way below 50%. I believe that's in the low 40s, if not high 30s. But it was 3 of 6 from 3. So, or no, actually, wrong game. Sorry, he only shot the ball 6 times. He was 50% from the field, and 2 of 3 from 3. So 66% from 3, but didn't shoot it that much. I don't know, how many minutes did he play? He played 23 minutes. He must be dealing with an injury or something. I'll have to check. But forgive me, by the way, for not really watching all of these games because I'm a Celtics fan and I don't have time to watch. I don't really have time to really watch all of these games, unfortunately, or keep up with all of them because I don't do these kind of videos for a living. But so that's why I'm kind of just reading off the box scores, which pretty much anybody could do. But like, if I had more time to dedicate my time to these videos, I would definitely watch these games in full, so I could actually give you like in-depth reviews of these games. But unfortunately, I don't have that kind of time, so I apologize for that. But Steven Adams had 10 and 16. Damn. Steven Adams is definitely an OG. He was drafted by the Thunder, played with them for 7 years, I believe. and played really well for them. And then played for the Pelicans for 1 year, and then the last 2 years he's been playing for the Grizzlies, and he's played pretty well for them. Against the Suns, he was 3 of 9 from the field, so not really. He was 33% from the field, so he didn't really play too good in terms of that. But he only had 10 points, but he did get 16 rebounds, and he had 3 steals as well. So he's definitely getting it done defensively. John Morant, as usual, leads the team in scoring with 27, 5, and 8 assists. If we check that box score, or if we check that shooting percentage, he shot 9 of 17 from the field and 1 of 2 from 3. And chipped in with a steal as well. So, good game from John Morant. He usually has good games, though. So, and then Dylan Brooks had 10. Zaire Williams had 16 points. And he shot 6 of 11 from the field and 3 of 6 from 3. So, pretty efficient. 16 points there. And then Tyus Jones had 11, but nobody else really had noteworthy games other than those players. On the Suns side of things, Torrey Craig actually chipped in with 20 points. He had 20 points and shot 7 of 9 from the field and 4 of 6 from 3. So very, very efficient. And it looks like Cameron Johnson's finally back. I haven't seen him back in a while. He only had 8 points, but it must have been his first game back in a while because he's been injured for a while. So, yeah, he's doing his thing. He kind of had a slow start, but Mikal Bridges had 24 points and led the team in scoring. He played very well. Looks like he was kind of inefficient. He was 8 of 21 from the field, so he didn't really shoot it that well. But he was 4 of 10 from 3, so he was at least 40% from the 3-point line. But did get a steal and a block, so he definitely chipped in on defense. But he's, like I said, he's one of the best defensive players in the league. So I don't know if he's still in the run-in for Defensive Player of the Year. Probably not, because the Suns haven't really done well recently. So they're finally starting to win more games, and Chris Paul, the old man, Chris Paul had CP3 had 22 points and was 8 of 18 from the field and 3 of 9 from 3. So, decently efficient, not too bad, but he did have 11 assists. So, and 3 steals and a block. Wow, that's actually pretty incredible. That 37-year-old Chris Paul is doing all that, so yeah. So the Suns win a nail-biter on that one. The Nets-Warriors game is up next, and the Nets won this by 4 points. Now, I actually did watch a little bit of this game, and the Warriors were up by 13 points, I believe, in the or about 15 points, I believe, for in the end of the third going into the fourth. So the Nets did come back and win this. A shorthanded Nets team without Kevin Durant. Royce O'Neal played well. He had 16. And he was 6 of 10 from 3. So he was very efficient. 6 of 10 from the field, sorry. 4 of 7 from 3. So he was definitely very efficient. Joe Harris had only 14 points, but again, he's not really a scorer. He's more of a shooter than anything. But he was 5 of 8 from the field and 4 of 7 from 3, so he played well. He did his thing. Knocking down threes, that's mainly his job. 24 points and 15 rebounds from Nicholas Claxton, though. Claxton has been one of the most underrated centers in the whole league, and I think he definitely has a case for Defensive Player of the Year. He's one of their main anchors defensively, so he's done a great job for them. He was 9 of 13 from the field. Obviously, he doesn't shoot any threes, but he had 1 steal and 3 blocks, so congrats to him. He's been playing very well as of late. Kyrie Irving, obviously my man Kyrie, had 38, 7, and 9. Damn, a near 38-point, near triple-double. That's crazy. Kyrie Irving's more known for scoring as opposed to passing, but he did his thing, man. And against the Warriors, he was 12 of 22 from the field, and 5 of 7 from 3. So he's actually very efficient. So usually Kyrie's been shooting. Kyrie's been a pretty efficient player his whole career, but he's definitely been in recent years. So he's had some of his best shooting splits. Ben Simmons only had 7 points, but he did chip in with 11 assists. Ben Simmons is a guy that's not known to score. Unfortunately, the problem with Ben Simmons is the thing that I find wrong with the Nets is that Ben Simmons does not play nearly aggressive enough. And that's gonna hurt them come playoff time because of the fact that he can't shoot. They're gonna sag off of him in the playoffs and guard heavily on Durant and Kyrie and the other shooters. So Ben Simmons is gonna have to start playing more aggressive. And he was 3 of 6 from the field, but he did have 1 steal and a block. But he had 11 assists. So at least he is playmaking. Gotta give him props for that. Seth Curry also had 12, and he was 5 of 7 from the field and 1 of 3 from 3. So Seth Curry, played pretty well, or up to his standards at least. On the Warriors side of things, the Warriors definitely choked this game away because I watched this game and they definitely choked it away. So the Warriors definitely are struggling mightily. They've struggled to win games pretty badly. They're just constantly choking big leads, and they are horrible on the road. Even though this game was a home game, so really no excuse there. But so Klay Thompson only had 10 points, and was 4 of 17 from the field and 0 of 7 from 3. Whew, not a good game from Klay at all. So, I'm sure people were ripping apart Klay for playing poorly, but Wiggins also only had 4 points. Wiggins, he was 2 of 9 from the field and 0 of 3 from 3. Wow. That's not good. Yeah, the Warriors have had some struggles. Draymond Green, you don't expect him to fucking score that much, but he had 9 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists. He was 4 of 7 from the field and 1 of 2 from 3, so you can't say, he wasn't efficient, but at the same time, he's not really. He had 1 steal, but, Steph Curry obviously led the team in scoring. He usually does. He had 26 points. He was 7 of 16 from the field and 4 of 8 from 3, so not too bad. And he did have 1 steal. So Jordan Poole had 17. Another guy that I think is completely overpaid. Jordan Poole is definitely not playing up to his contract, I don't think. So definitely not. I don't think he's worth the contract that he got at all. He just had a really good season last year. They probably just gave him that because they won the championship and they were like, who are we going to pay? They kind of overreacted to winning a ring and overpaid him. Against the Nets, though, he was 5 of 11 and 3 of 6 from 3. So he did have 4 steals, though. So he was definitely, doing his thing on the defensive side of the ball. And Dante DiVincenzo had 13, and Kuminga had 20. Definitely don't expect Kuminga to put up those kind of numbers. He was 9 of 15 from the field. So good for him. He definitely did his thing. And Kevon Looney had 14 and 10. So Kevon Looney is definitely, but the Warriors definitely lack in size, and I think that's been their biggest issue this season at least. So they definitely gotta figure that out and get bigger guys, and get some taller guys on their team. And then the last game of that night is the Lakers-Blazers game. So the Blazers really blew this game. They were up by 25 points at the halftime and choked it. So it's not a good look for the Blazers. The Blazers are not a good team. I'm sorry, but they're not a good team. LeBron had 37 and 11. I mean, LeBron's been routinely dropping these numbers this year. He's just been dominant. As someone who's not a huge fan of LeBron, he definitely, what he's doing at his age is impressive. I'm not gonna say it's not. It definitely is for sure. And his shooting splits were actually very good. 14 of 24 from the field with 2 blocks, and 11 rebounds and 4 assists. 2 of 7 from 3. I mean, he's never really been the best 3-point shooter, but he, he's definitely improved in that area in recent years. So you got to give him props for that. Sorry, the Clippers-Lakers game is on my TV right now. If you're wondering what I'm looking at. Wow. But yeah. Anyways, so that's all the game. So honestly, I'm gonna cut this into I'm gonna make 2 videos tonight. And I'm gonna make and I'm gonna upload them both tomorrow, and I'll make another one. I'll make one tomorrow for tonight's games. So thank you for watching the video for this recap. If you happen to enjoy, leave a like down below, and obviously make sure to watch the next one when it comes out. So I'm gonna try to do these as often as possible, but I'm gonna try to do these as much as possible. But yeah. If I do, like, again, I have missed some uploads, and I apologize, but I did have an exam this week at IEC, so I apologize for these inconsistent uploads, but I'm doing the best that I can, Anyways, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. That's going to come out in a little bit.